Here we are again. Not a whole lot happened in between episodes. Those green prisoners don't actually do anything. They're just a background detail to make the world feel less sterile. A nice addition on the developer's part. So anyway, in the last episode, I mentioned how SpongeBob had outlived all of the other shows featured in this game. And on that note, the second longest surviving show would be the Fairly Odd Parents. It was finally cancelled just this year, and it certainly had a long run. Although the creators weren't actively producing episodes on a regular basis, so that diminishes it a bit. Over the course of about 16 years, the show had about 10 seasons, and the schedule was a little odd. For the first few seasons, there would be roughly 20 episodes per year, like a normal TV show, but over time, the episodes premiered further and further apart. For a while, the show was skipping entire years. This meant that during the show's 16-year run, 6 of those years were completely void of content. I do wonder if there are any other plans for the show at this point. Even though the original creator has left Nickelodeon, the rights to the show are still in Nickelodeon's hands, meaning that they could bring it back if they wanted to. I doubt they would actually do that though, and even if they did, they would probably wait at least 10 years so that young adults would be nostalgic for it and kids wouldn't recognize it. In a minute the game is going to introduce us to the possession mechanic. You see, Danny Phantom has the ability to take over the body of certain characters, just like in the show. It's an interesting mechanic, and I'm glad the developers took the effort to include it. I guess the introduction of the possession mechanic is a little farther away than I remembered. Okay, so here's the part where you can upgrade your abilities. As previously mentioned, it doesn't really make a difference. How popular do you think this game was? I'd imagine it was reasonably popular, since a similar Nicktoon crossover game was released the following year. Nothing beyond that though. Here's the part where I turn up the in-game music. It makes the game much more bearable. Although considering how I have the audio set up, the in-game music might not even be audible. I have to reduce all game-related volume significantly so that the text-to-speech does not get drowned out. So now this is the part with the position mechanic that I mentioned earlier. I meant to say position, not position. There's no spell checker in this text-to-speech. Each enemy that you can possess has a unique moveset. Good effort on the developer's part. You know, I keep complimenting the developers of this game, but none of the good decisions that this company made were able to save them from bankruptcy. It's a real shame that the developers of this game went out of business, especially when you consider the fact that they were starting to make original content in addition to the Nickelodeon stuff. The developers of this game later went on to create Blood, which was a completely original series. Unfortunately, there will never be another Blood, because Blue Tongue Entertainment was shut down by THQ in 2011. The AI in this game isn't particularly smart. They are supposed to just jump over that barrier, but they can't figure it out. In a way, it reminds me of my own life experiences. I'm constantly at odds with barriers that everybody else can easily get across.
Escape to a world of enchantment, run with the wonders of nature, swim in our crystal clear waters, see things you've never seen before. in the complete Super Mario World. With 78 levels, it's Mario's biggest adventure ever, now on Game Boy Advance. Come, spend time with us. Rated E for everyone.